Oh, jeez, man. Relentless. You know, if the trail goes like it comes in here. Oh my god. Oh, and then there's another one. Get that big fucker. Help a poor guy out, Lord. And then there's another one. Hello again, all you situational maintainers, terra firma relationship havers, and anyone who isn't bored to death with learning federal contracting and watching trails work. In last week's episode, I got into the specs and began talking about the tools that we needed, but I didn't really get that far before I was also bored with the content, and so I'm gonna finish that real quick. 10:30. Can't really see the creek down there. Can't really see the trail either. Here's the trail. There it is, see it? It was not looking good after the second week on French Creek, on Lower French Creek. Not only was the work unlike anything that we had seen so far, it was dark, it was cold, it was wet, it was smoky some days. It was not a blast. There was one day we shut down early, rain was coming, and it was a horrible ride back up the mountain. The thunder, the lightning, it's gonna get ugly in a few minutes. It started raining on us, I think, before we even got to the bikes, and then our ride out was just, I think it was the coldest, wettest. That was a miserable situation. When we got back to camp, I think all of us jumped in our bags immediately and tried to get warm. I don't know if we even ate dinner that night. We were frozen, and all we wanted to do was get warm. So the tools we had with us on the trail consisted of brush saws, chainsaws, Pulaski, McLeod, had an axe with me for a bit, sulky saws, and that was it. I think sulky saws is the last thing, but oh, and also all the tools that we needed to fix all those tools. The sulky saws we used when we would hike back to the bikes at the end of our workday. We used those to trim what we'd missed on the way, which it's amazing. It just still blows my mind what we missed. And we probably, you know, I could still ride it and find something that we missed. It's funny. Funny haw. Cleaned up in the rain. I mean, sucky, but not impossible. Our rain is turning to snow. 35 degrees. Really tricky when it's foggy. The McLeod we used for tread maintenance, and it worked good as a rake too, kind of a brush rake. The Pulaski I carried with me on the bike, and I used that for root removal and some tread repair in some areas that the McLeod wouldn't have worked. It just wouldn't have cut into the soil enough. Getting ready for the day. It's early. Not quite as frosty this morning. Oh, look at that guy. What a stud. Always up and at him. Quinn and I are humping it in this morning to where we left off. Can't get our bikes through a section. It's just sketch. I don't want to hurt us, and I don't want to hurt the bikes, so about a mile where we left off. I'll take some video of it on the way out. It is some kind of f***ed up. That's what we're doing. We're humping in this morning. Like the rock garden. I think you are gonna go right there. Perfect, man. I just wanna have a play. I wanna go down, stay, kissing your feet. Man, it is cold out here. Yeah, in addition to the working tools that we needed to complete the job, there was a fair amount of, let's call it, cultural, emotional intelligence required to get this done. Oh, spring, sweet. Oh, Lord, you are so good to me. Oh, how nice. cultural, emotional intelligence side of federal contracting is in that, well, and it's with a lot of business, in that who is your customer going to be today? Is it going to be the government drone, or is it going to be the, actual human person that works at the government? To help with that, figuring out what and who you're dealing with, I've read a few books, and this knowledge is helpful in all aspects of life, but I would say it's necessary in the who am I dealing with today game of government work. It becomes fun after a little practice. If you're into knowing, if one of those people that likes knowing what and who you're dealing with and how to massage that to your benefit, these books could be helpful. Keep in mind, you're dealing with an entity, not a person. You're dealing with a mindset, a culture. They're going to be just enough human to get you into the contract, and then after that, they are going to do whatever is in the best interest of the government. And in their brain, they are the government, so they're going to do whatever is in the best interest of them. And that is important to remember. Once the risk has been transferred, whoa, icicle just fell down. Things change. Once risk is transferred, things change in a hurry. What a day. 6:15 outside. What a fucking day, man. Up at 3, out of Boise at 4. Got into camp here right at 8 o'clock. And we headed down in, and 2 hours later, we started work. That goes in there. Oh, yeah. Good morning. I don't know here. Maybe it's not a good morning. Oh, it is a good morning. Man, do I look good? We needed a couple different saws on this section. We had wreck after wreck down in there is what we had. Quinn and I hauled saws in and out of there like we were running a pawn shop. Quinn did most of the heavy sawing, and I stayed on the brush saw, but he did most of the chainsaw work. And I'm telling you, there was some hogs that were work. That'll just take a second. Or so he says. Recording the trail restoration. Water will run off of that. And this is kind of a warm spring right here. Very warm. If I could find the source of that, it might be hotter. I think that is the source though. Let me strap this back on. So my humble experience is I love female contracting officers. They know their shit, are not ego driven. That would be number one. They're not ego driven. Number two, they know their shit. Number three, they do what's in the best interest of the government. And you can count on that. So if you can count on that instead of what's in the best interest of the person, you can make that person's life way easier. I do what I say I'm gonna do, and I don't play the low bid change order game. And I think they appreciate that. And I've worked with a lot of the same female contracting officers for 15 years. And yeah, always have a great relationship with them. When I have a male contracting officer, not always, but there are times when you can just tell, by their emails, the way they word things, and you can just tell certain things about a person. And like I mentioned earlier, in their mind, they are the government. So yeah, pretty much anything goes that they want. Keep in mind that when you're dealing with those folks, they have an unlimited amount of time and an unlimited amount of money. They're never going to not get a paycheck. Keep that in mind. Oh, and also keep in mind that their attorneys also are on the paycheck cycle. So they also have unlimited amount of time. So you want to pick your battles. You don't even want to have a battle, but if you do, fight it wisely, pick it carefully and fight it wisely. And how do I say that? Fight it professionally. Maintain professionalism in your industry. But don't be intimidated when they try to bulldoze you, and they will every time try to get something for nothing, and then take some of the something that they agreed to give you and discount it. You have to know the FARs. You have to get into the FARs, and you will. Here is the dagger in the heart. I probably shouldn't even put this out there, but all the money that you just fought to get paid for, you're giving 75% of that back to the people you were just fighting to get it from. Ouch. What just happened? It's almost too much sometimes. This guy is an animal. He mountain biked up the mountain in a pouring rainstorm. It was nasty. He's a stud. He gets milk and cookies for his efforts. And this guy's a legend for cooking supper, man. Supper was awesome. Okay, I had that root section here. Luke got us a nice line right through there. Bad little sitch too, so you can't really tell. Camera doesn't do it justice, but it was a climb on a bike. Good job, superstar. Heck yeah. Here's the story of a contractor that got paid 28 grand to pull out 3 fence posts. I don't know if I could even get in trouble for this or not, but whatever. So this contractor spent 5 minutes to pull out 3 fence posts on an air base down in California. Now, here's the first Air Force Base, California. Basically a bratty 4-year-old with an Uzi. The 2 most inefficient and uncommon sensed entities on the planet. They want to get together and build this fence in California. So the contractor does his PMP, project management plan, does his schedule, does all submittals, everything, gets it all sent in, it's all approved. All right, we're starting on this date. Guy shows up. He shows up, meets with the COR. So the COR just found out that morning that he was the COR for a job he had no idea existed. So being the wise and emotionally seasoned contractor he walks over to the fence line, pulls out 3 fence posts, looks back over at the COR and says, "I'm really glad we could get started on this for you today." You see, that contractor smelled a delay, and there's money in delay because they got to pay you. You're on delay. You could be doing something else, but you're hanging around waiting for them to make up their mind. So he smelled delay and more money and knew exactly what to do to get that. Next morning, he gets an email. "Hey, guess what? We need to cancel the contract." He emails him back. "I wish we could, but according to the daily log and the COR, we started work yesterday." Oh shit. Well, they could cancel it for the convenience of the government, which I don't know why they didn't. I'm guessing they thought they were going to be ready to go in time. They were not. So here's the kicker. And I mean, this is hilarious. The COR, oh, sorry, I should explain it. COR is contracting officer's representative. COR is the person that the contracting officer that reports to the CO about the job, because the contracting officers are never at the site. They're usually, they're never at the site. So this still makes me laugh. The COR was an environmental consultant contractor. He wasn't even Air Force. He was a contractor hired by the Air Force to do environmental consulting on the Air Force base. The COR had no idea this was going on. And the red-dicked salamander was about to do whatever special thing it does, and that was going to mess up this fence project. So the person the Air Force hired to keep from being foiled by environmental things was actually the person that foiled them in the end. It's funny, he got paid 28 grand, didn't do a damn thing. Pulled out 3 fence posts, and I drove down there, or he drove down there. It's too late for audit on that, I think. I can't remember. 60 days passed on delay, and I sent him an email and said, "Hey, we're still in delay. You want to keep paying this bill?" And he immediately canceled the contract for the convenience of the government. But you just think about the unaccountability for that. It's not. It just blows my mind. Like, they wrote a check for $28,000. There was no work done other than they figured out not to ask the guy they hired to watch over the contractor. I don't think that's whatever. That is a true story. That is unaccountability mindset. Try to use that mindset to your advantage when you're dealing with the government. After you look at enough plans and specs, you can figure out how to make money off of their mistakes, their just general lack of giving it a damn. Like, imagine if you had a job that you could count on your paycheck, you knew you weren't getting fired unless you really, really, really messed up. No one cared how you did your job all day. No one cared if you did your job all day. You got a free car and you got benefits. Like, that's a pretty good gig, and then no one really cares if you do your job. So that's the mindset you're dealing with. Keep that in mind. It's not, and that's not all of them, but I could count on one hand the ones I would invite over for dinner. That is something that I wish I would have known more when I started, was just the human side of doing business and doing business with the feds. In the next episode, yeah, I think we're done. I'm done talking about government contracting. We're gonna get back to some adventure. So it's gonna be more trail stuff, but it's gonna be funner, like just gonna be funner. And yeah, we'll see. Will we make it out of French Creek? Will we make it back up to the ridge before we're snowed out? Will we get this contract done? Man, your guess is as good as mine. Thanks for watching. Give me a thumb sideways, please. See you next week.